Now, this morning, we're starting off the conversation looking at the Blueprint newspaper. On the front page of the Blueprint, the big story says, terrorists, 4 informants behind Abuja attack. The front page this morning says, terrorists intensifying plans to attack Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Gani, Adams. All right. Oh, I beg your pardon. That was first news. All right. On the front page of the Blueprint newspaper, we have 4 informants behind Abuja terror attacks arrested. That's the big story there. And we still have some suspects, some sub stories there. Suspects under interrogation. Over 70 criminals, including Kuje escapees, killed. These are some of the sub stories there. We still have here Kogi monarch arrested, suspended for security breach. LG chair queried. Governor Yahaya Bello reads riot act to other traditional rulers. Operatives kill 7 bandits, lose 2 in Plateau village. That's on page 8. And at the top of the paper, of course, the elections are a conversation that we are going to be having up until 2023. APC seeks voting rights for Diaspora Nigerians. Rallies support for Tinubu. This is a conversation we should be having. Nigerians in the diaspora do pay taxes. Some of them pay their taxes still because they have families. They still pay into the economy. Why do they not have a right to decide who presides over the affairs here in the country? That will be a conversation we should look further into here on the show. Article urges youth involvement, pledges to reposition Nigeria. Obi, fantastic, but no match for ex-VP. And this is by Tinubu. The details of that's on page 6. We still have here on page 25, 20 rewarded 4 million naira in UBA Kiddies and Teens draw. On page 9, Blueprint publisher to daughter. Let the fear of God and your upbringing guide you to marital life. Osauge, take that advice for future reference. NCC doles out 500 million naira for research in Nigerian varsities. That's on page 25. And we have more stories here. IPC to federal government, your threat to sanction BBC. Trust TV plots to stifle media. Now, if you do not know, there was a documentary showing some behind-the-scenes stories about the challenges with insecurity in Nigeria, and unfortunately, there's been threats that it will be sanctioned. And final story here: herbalist arrested for raping client in Ogun. That's a very disheartening story on page 9. But that's all that we can take this morning on the Blueprint. We'll move over to first newspaper.
So now time for first news papers this morning.
Thank you for the emphasis.
Big story there says terrorists intensifying plan to attack Lagos, Oyo, Ogun. Gani Adams cries out, says they are already setting up camps in forests in the southwest, urges southwest governors to fortify Amotekun. Nigeria sleepwalking, heading for collapse, says Yoruba Generalissimo. Also, area commanders, DPOs placed on red alert over threats to attack Lagos. Tambuwal, Obasanjo meet behind closed doors in Ogun. Also, federal agents arrest informants over Kuje jailbreak and Abuja attacks. A few others: insecurity, youth unemployment worse than time bomb, says Uluovori. DSS arrests Boko Haram leader in Ogun State. Terrorists, it's a lot of security stories on the first news this morning. Terrorists ambush and kill Taraba monarch and son. 2023, Nigerians will vote competent individuals, not parties, Khan president says. Also, Wike meets PDP governors and other stakeholders as party crisis deepens. Ebonyi governor floors brother and 3 others to clinch APC senatorial tickets. And 2 other stories this morning. Police recover corpses of 4 officers killed in Bayelsa. 1 filmmakers to stop portraying force in bad light. And finally, Commonwealth Games. Congratulations, Rafiatu Lawal secures Nigeria's 2nd gold medal. Congratulations.
That's an interesting story you talked about there. They're warning filmmakers to stop portraying the forces in bad light. Are we also trying to stifle media as well? Stifle filmmakers?
I don't think, one thing that a lot of Nigerian agencies always try to do is, cover up, and filmmakers really are just representing what they see.
That imitates life.
Yeah, exactly.
There are good lawmakers, but there are very, very shady ones as well. So anyway, let's move over to our next paper this morning, and we're looking at New Vision this morning. On the front page of the New Vision newspaper, head teachers get top-up pay. That's a good one. Head teachers get top-up pay this morning. We also have 13 killed, 12 missing as floods hit Mbale, Katoa. That's We can see the photograph here of a car that was swept up the bridge. This was into River Nabuyonga on the Mbale Kumi Road in Mbale City yesterday. Flood swept through the area following the heavy rains on Saturday night. By press time, 13 people had been confirmed dead in Katoa and Mbale districts on page 4 and 5. We are seeing more effects of floods this year. It's been really ravaging parts of the continent, and we're hoping our governments can step up and be prepared to protect citizens from the damaging effects of these floods. We have here also Kiplangat. Cheptegei saved my career. That's on page 8. Kabaka advises government on coffee industry on page 11. 3 held over murder of Kapwokia councillor. The details of that story is on page 14. How Ekinhiro excited Mbarara. Details on page 55. Glamour pump at Bride and Groom Expo on page 10 and 54. And final story, interesting one here. Stop calling your spouses daddy, mommy, says Pastor Kayanja. First of all, how does this story make it to the front page of a newspaper? And what is Pastor?
I mean, it was Sunday yesterday, so probably one of the highlights from her Sunday,
message was
yeah.
Stop calling your spouses daddy and mommy.
Did she suggest what they would be called?
Maybe they're saying you should call them more endearing terms like honey, sweetheart. But I think the whole daddy and mommy thing started with our parents and our grandparents, because you're calling your spouse what your child will call the spouse. What call daddy? Daddy, come and do this for us.
Yeah, but that's mostly a Southeastern thing, Most of the men in the Southeast call their women,
Mommy.
Mommy.
No, or mommy, actually.
All right, let's go to the Namibian this morning. Over 42,200 civil servants vote yes to strike. Economists warn of ripple effects across the economy. Also, Hanse Himarwa says opposition councillors will fail under SWAPO government. We can also find here this morning, Nde Tunga jumps into failed overseas trip sagas. Police chief stops implicated councillor from leaving Namibia. Just a few stories, actually. We can also find on the top on page 3, detained activists face 3-week wait for bail appeal ruling. And, an article there talking about recording white maize harvest, it says record white maize harvest expected this year.